As a university, we continue to keep our gaze on the national imperatives as well as Africa's long-term aspirations as contained in the Agenda 2063, the Africa we want. In terms of Goal 2 of the agenda, Africa is working towards a well-educated citizen, the skills revolution underpinned by science, technology, and innovation. This priority area is the focus on education, science, and technology, and very important for driving the skills revolution that our country and continent so need, where Africa as a whole and the education sector in particular is expected to ensuring inclusive and equitable quality education to promoting lifelong learning and opportunities. Here at home, the immense contribution that Unisa makes towards the goal of increasing overall participation and success rates in the university sector is quite important. As indicated, our contribution to that idea that the National Development Plan requires of producing doctors that can inform and shape the scientific agenda of our country is quite an important imperative that Unisa cradles. As indicated earlier, the evolution of higher education in South Africa bears the hallmarks of Unisa. More than any other institution in the country and continent, Unisa has made quality education accessible. Our country has made it even more possible for ensuring that students who come from the margins, the economic margins, are supported, and thus the indelible mark of the quest for better life cannot be summarized in any way without thinking about Unisa in the psyche of the country, the continent, and the world. Throughout the 15 decades of its existence, the University of South Africa has traversed a road of transformation that was characterized by ebbs, flows, triumphs, defeats, and yet remained true to its reasons of existence, that questioning and advancing society. As we march to the next 150 years, we need to reflect honestly and critically about the history and place of the university in our national life and the future of the African continent. The contestations of the day notwithstanding, welcome as they are, we ought to think about our actions and the legacy we shall leave behind for generations to come. Given the volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguous nature of our ever-evolving world, what should be the mission and the key tasks of Unisa in the next 150 years? Are you going to be part of that partnership that aims at shaping these contestations so that we can form the best citizens in the global world? As I said in my inaugural speech in September 2021, there will be no change without courage. And in this regard, we should always remember the words of the poet, the humanist Professor Rapetsi, who said, "When the clouds clear, we shall know the color of the sky." Let me repeat. When the clouds clear, we shall know the color of the sky. And President Mandela also, in his speech, after his release from prison, after 27 years, he reminds us that strong proverbial idea of being African, that even as we build, sometimes there will be efforts to curtail the building. And he says, it's a very important and profound invitation for us to understand in the efforts of building societies, institutions, and universities, that we should ensure that we are committed to the building of the freedom that our country so fought for. In this day, that is the first Freedom Day of the country, were you aware that today is the Freedom Day, the day that the Charter was proclaimed, to ensuring that all of us South Africans work together for the freedom and liberation of this country. So as Unisa, we're proud to be the students of freedom, the students of liberation, the students and scholars who will work together for the practice of freedom, drawing on the accomplished leaders, the alumni of this university, who would have walked the hallways of this university through the postal office, the digital system, but also the classroom. Leaders such as President Mandela, President Thabo Mbeki, the current president of the country, President Cyril Ramaphosa, the former president of the First Republic of the Africans, Haiti, in the Northern Hemisphere, Dr. John Bertrand Aristide, the former Deputy Justice Dikgang, Judge Thokozile Masipa, Edwin Cameron, the former Governor Jill Marcus, as it is the current one, the businessmen Mark Lamberti, Dr. Mampele Rampele, and others like Basitana Kumalu, who are committed leaders of our societies. On behalf of the university MENCOM, or management team, on behalf of all who are here, I wish to take this opportunity to welcome you to the University of South Africa, the University of the Land, the University of Leaders, the university committed to co-constructing the future through knowledge and through the commitment of Africans. Welcome to Unisa. Happy birthday, 150.
Let's give another round of applause to our Vice-Chancellor, Professor Puleng Lenkabula. After 150 years, they finally said, let the woman lead. And so we will. Professor Lenkabula, thank you so much for leading us with courage and passion in this disruptive era. You have crafted a compelling vision, a vision of how Unisa can be a critical partner in the global knowledge society, where knowledge contributes to the shaping of the Africa we want, and the world that we desire to live, move, and have our being in. Ladies and gentlemen, it's our birthday. We are 150 years old. Thokozani, Thokozani Bazawana. This is indeed a historic milestone for our institution. We have been strong and unmovable for 150 years. We have seen seasons change. We have seen wars. We have heard rumors of wars, but Unisa still stands. It is a testament of the commitment of this great institution to have an unmovable core that is steadfast in the belief that education rises us up out of discord, dystopia, distress, and rises us to higher ideals, a better way for us to live and move. And so, friends, it's our celebration. We have maintained the strong core belief that education must be mobilized, must be accessible, must flow away from the ivory towers of higher education institutions and flow into businesses, flow into communities, whether they be rural or urban, flow into civil society organizations, flow into communities of shared practice. Education must be liberated. In fact, knowledge is the one resource that is infinite. The more we create, the more we share, the more there is still to gain. In fact, we want to thank the university, led by our Vice-Chancellor and the university management. You see, friends, universities around the world have been critical assets in the promotion of democratic values. As far back as 1905, William Rainey Harper, who was the first president of the University of Chicago, described the university as the strategic agency to nurture good citizenship and intensify democracy. According to Harper, he said, "It is the university that fights the battles of democracy. Its war cry being, 'Come, let us reason together.' It is the university that in these latter days goes forth with buoyant spirit to comfort and give hope to those who are downcast, taking up their dwelling. It is the university that with impartial judgment condemns in democracy the spirit of corruption, which now and again lifts up its head and brings scandal upon democracy's fair name. The university, I maintain, is the prophetic interpreter of democracy, the prophet of her past in all its vicissitudes, the prophet of her present in all its complexity, and the prophet of her future in all its possibilities. Now, friends, it is my honor as we signify this critical milestone of this core that has remained over 150 years. We also celebrate that while we've had this steadfast core, we also have been living at the disruptive edge. And so, this is our Unisa. We have been sustained with a common purpose and a mission that education must be liberated and democratized. And now, to honor this significant milestone, we are going to be unveiling a very special plaque. So I'm going to be requesting some members of the academic procession to move backstage, where they will be taken to the area where the plaque will be unveiled. And so, His Excellency, Mr. Paul Mashatile, Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa, His Excellency, Dr. Thabo Mbeki, our Chancellor, Dr. Blade Nzimande, Minister of Higher Education, Science and Innovation, Mr. M.J. Maboa, our Chairperson of Council, Professor P. Lenkabula, and Professor S.R. Machano. Get yourselves ready. I have warned you in good time. Please do get yourselves ready. You are going to be involved in the special unveiling of the plaque. And so we will be just making sure that you are ushered there shortly. And so I would like to now introduce the 150-year birthday celebration choir, and Mrs. Mpho Sithole will introduce the songs on the stage. So over to you, Ms. Mpho Sithole. Won't you give the 150-year birthday celebration choir a round of applause?
My role is very easy. However, there's something that is not easy for me right now. I'm trying to say good morning, but it's not coming. My head is not talking to what I want to say. Chancellor, I would like to take you down memory lane just so people understand why I'm struggling to say good morning. Chancellor, I'm here. So, Chancellor, back in the day, as you would know, I served in a private office. And we will arrive in the office, let's just say 7 o'clock. I'm just choosing 7 o'clock because you know we'll arrive way earlier than that. And as you walk in, you'll find me sitting, and I will do my one-man standing ovation. And you will stop to greet me, and you will say, "Good evening, Mpomncane." Whoo! The first time you did that, I tried to sneak and check the window, and the windows of the Union Building clearly did not come to my rescue. There I was, face to face with the president of the country, new in his office. I did not know whether to challenge you, to question you, nor to correct you. And I created door number 4. I smiled. You proceeded to find out from me if I was okay. I proceeded to smile. I waited for you to pass and go to Sisimpo and give her the long list that will make us run the entire day. And then I went to Sisimpo and I asked her, "But why did he say good evening while it is good morning?" She gave me this look that said, "Simmer down, Mpo, as you'll get used to him." I got used to you, and I also realized that you were not doing that intentionally. It was simply because of the program that we updated on your behalf was extremely hectic. When I say hectic, I mean hectic. So I will wait for you to greet for me, I'll wait for you to greet me, and I'll follow your lead, just so I survive the vice versa. Until one day, I was cornered again. You had a special envoy, and I say special envoy because there was someone in that administration. And you started your meeting at the Sheraton Hotel in the morning, and the first meeting in the office was at 2000 hours in the evening. So 2 things will tell me that we have touched down. The 2-way radios, hoki-toki, as the PPU walks in, and the aroma from the pipe. If anyone is interested about the aroma from the pipe, please visit the Thabo Mbeki Presidential Library. You walked in, and I knew you had a guest, and you took pride in introducing us to your guests. So you came in, you stood to my left. On my right stood the 42nd President of the United States of America, His Excellency Mr. Bill Clinton. And then you said, "Good morning, Mpomncane." I froze because I knew it was evening. But nonetheless, I'm here to introduce the choir, which is going to sing a song called Tuto. And the second song is called Ndawanabana. So Tuto will be conducted by Mr. Itumele Molefe. And the second song is a vendor song conducted by Ms. Joyce Mchali, called Ndawanabana. Mr. Itumele Molefe, everybody. Thank you.
Are you finished?
Let's give it up for the Unisa choir. Now, that is a special song arranged just for our birthday celebration. And we want to thank you, Unisa choir, for always providing the soundtrack to our milestone events that are taking place. So friends, next up, we are privileged to have with us the chairperson of Unisa's council, Mr. James Maboa. Over to you, sir.
Thanks. Thank you. Happy birthday, Unisa. It's a momentous occasion. Let us smile. Let us be joyful in this occasion. Chancellor of the University of South Africa, Dr. Thabo Mbeki, the Vice President of of South Africa, and Tate Mashatile, the Dr. Blade Nzimande, the Minister of Higher Education, Science, and Innovation, together with his Deputy Minister Manamela, the Vice Chancellor of South Africa, Prof. Muckleneuck, members of Council present here, members of the Executive Committee and Extended Management of Unisa, representatives of organized labor and student structures, members of the media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. Tobel, Legai, our one. Sorry. Let me also acknowledge Pamushat, Tobel, and the Minister, Minister Waka of Human Settlement. This protocol is not complete. I almost made a mistake and got fired here and there. You know? Ladies and gentlemen, when members of the Unisa epistemic community met in this very hall, exactly 136 days on Unisa's official opening of the 2023 academic year, I highlighted the fact that the ceremony was taking place at a critical moment in the history of Unisa, the year in which the institution would be commemorating its 150th birthday. Even at that point, it was clear to many of us that the current university knowledge community was excited by the prospects of being the generation with the honor and privilege to witness and be part of this very exciting chapter in the university's history. We all looked forward to this actual birthday on this, our august university, the University of South Africa, which was established on this day 150 years ago. Today is the 26th of June, 2023. That moment has arrived, and indeed we're here to bear witness and be part of the celebration of the 150th anniversary. Program directors, as we gather on this great hall this morning, a hall that has borne witness to many a memorable and epoch-making event, it is important to remind ourselves that this is a moment for both celebration and reflection. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a moment to celebrate many incredible and impactful achievements of this great institution in the past 15 decades of its existence. It is a moment to look back with pride and revel in the knowledge that the University of South Africa has been instrumental in spawning the university system in the country, including having experienced the birth pangs to deliver some of the best universities in the country, as the VC has indicated. It is a moment to be glorious, yet humble. That it's our university that has opened the doors of learning wider than most. This university on the hill has provided much needed hope and access to learning opportunities for people from diverse backgrounds, including those who exist on the margins of our communities, as well as many of our struggle stalwarts who were imprisoned on Robben Island and who could not access such opportunities in any other way. It is a moment to take pride of the fact that we are home to approximately 400,000 students in over 130 countries across the world. It's exciting to report that more than 1 million people across the world are part of the alumni community of this University of the Land. This is the opportune moment to celebrate the fact that of all the national enrollments by public higher education institutions in the country, 33%, that's a third, are carried and taught by our university. Over and above this, 20%, that's a quarter, of all graduates produced by higher education sector in South Africa come from Unisa. These are statistics and contributions matched by no other institution in this country. It is a moment to celebrate the great strides which we continue to make in world university rankings, as well as publication and research output. I dare say that the following, among others, are the hallmarks of our performing institution. Having our engineering discipline ranked joint number 1 in South Africa in the 2023 Times Higher Education World University Rankings, retaining its 8th position with regard to overall publication output per sector for 5 consecutive years, being ranked in the top half globally in the Times Higher Education Impact Results, as well as winning the 2022 Zaire International Award for Research. Actually, I can add here, I think it was Webometrics, in terms of distant learning, were ranked number 3 in the world. I can say without equivocation that achievements like this, as well as many others not mentioned here, due to space constraints, are indeed worthy of being celebrated. Indeed, directly translated, horses are praised only after finishing the race. However, program directors, ladies and gentlemen, it is also critical that even as Ritiakati, as we celebrate the 150th anniversary of this great institution, I'm of a view that we need to use this occasion to also reflect on the journey Unisa has traveled in its entirety, as well as where we intend to take it over a short, medium, and long term. We must be the first to acknowledge that while much has been achieved, a lot more still needs to be done. An honest reflection of our current circumstances will lead us to quickly and correctly admit that indeed we still have some challenges to overcome. Sorry. This is particularly crucial This is particularly important, crucial in this juncture with the challenges that we're faced with. It is also important to, excuse me, colleagues, my speech was stolen like the president's iPad. So our round up, colleagues. I was on the last page. So let me thank those who have attended. Let me wish Unisa the memorable 150th celebration. And let me thank all our guests that have attended this gracious occasion. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairperson of Council, Mr. James Mashukudu Mabua, for your welcome speech. Indeed, whilst a lot has been achieved over the 150 years of Unisa's existence, a lot still needs to be done. We still have a lot of work to do. There will be ebbs, there will be flows, like the Vice Chancellor said earlier on, but we are going to stick around and push for the liberation in education of a South African child. Thank you very much. I'm going to now ask, and I have the honor to request Dr. Blade Nzimande, the Minister of Higher Education, Science and Innovation, to come to the podium to deliver his address.
Thank you very much, Program Director, and all other program directors who are in charge of this program. Let me greet His Excellency Dr. T.M. Mbeki, former President of the Republic of South Africa and Chancellor of Unisa, His Excellency Deputy President of the Republic, Mr. Paul Mashatile, Your Excellencies, Ambassadors and High Commissioners representing various countries here in South Africa, Ms. Mamuluku Kubai, the Minister of Human Settlements, Deputy Minister of Higher Education, Science and Innovation, Mr. Manamela, MEC for Social Development in Mpumalanga, Ms. Jali, and members from various other government departments, Ms. A.M. Miller, the UN Women's Multi-Country Representative, Mr. J. Mabowa, the Chair of Council, and other members of the University Council who are present here, Professor Lenkabula, the Unisa Principal and Vice Chancellor, and all other members of the University Executive and Management present, Senior Prince N.S. Mampuru, Ndabezit, and other traditional leaders who are present here, All other dignitaries who are here, as they have been mentioned, the Unisa National Student Representative Council and other Unisa student structures, representatives from labor and trade union movement from Unisa, retirees, alumni, and other members of the university community present are performing artists, representatives of the media, distinguished members of the audience, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to make these remarks at an important occasion such as this, UNISA's 150th birthday celebrations, a significant milestone indeed in the history of higher education in South Africa. As it has been said, UNISA was founded in 1873, and it occupies a unique place in the annals of higher education history as the oldest university in our country. Not only that, as the VC has said, UNISA gave birth to the rest of our higher education system, or our university system in South Africa, with more than 1 million alumni. I've challenged the VC, though, that it's not enough to say more than 1 million. I would really like to know the exact figure of UNISA alumni over the past 150 years. That's a task I'm willing to do with UNISA, working with the department. Indeed, we also continue to make our own contribution as the democratic government to the path laid by UNISA. We have already built 2 new universities, University of Mpumalanga in Bombela, and Solplaatje University in Kimberley. And we are also in the process now of working towards building 2 more universities. The University of Science and Innovation in Ekurhuleni Metro, which, by the way, Honorable former President Mbeki, Ekurhuleni is the only metropolitan city in the world that doesn't have a university, so we want to correct that, as well as detective services universities in Hammanskraal. Since its inception, this university has spawned into existence and supported the establishment of an illustrious list of other universities that I won't mention now because of time. UNISA's history, of course, reflects the broader history of the times in which it was molded, from its roots in the colonial period, the long period under the Union of South Africa from 1910, and 45 years of apartheid, and the last 29 years of our democracy. Its major development took place in the post-Second World War period, notably from 1946, when it pioneered tertiary distance education across South Africa and in the wider African continent. As it has been said, UNISA constitutes 1/3 of South Africa's university students, and it trains more than 50% of teachers for our country. It has already been said, I won't traverse that many stalwarts of our struggles against apartheid went through here. Amongst others, John Langalibalele Dube, the first president of the ANC, and Professor Z.K. Matthews, who were amongst the first Africans to receive degrees from UNISA, following in the footsteps of the pioneer Simon Peter Mihlali, who was the first black student to matriculate under the UNISA examinations in 1879. Indeed, we boast many UNISA alumni, including distinguished former prisoners like Nelson Mandela, who was our first president of the democratic South Africa, and indeed our current president, Cyril Ramaphosa, is an alumni of this university, and he's always proud of it. That as a student, he was expelled from TEFLUOP. The only institution that enabled him to finish his law degree was UNISA. Ladies and gentlemen, this gathering is celebrating UNISA's 150th anniversary and the conference under the theme Reclaiming Africa's Intellectual Futures. Honorable former President and Chancellor Mbeki, to speak meaningfully about a radical imagination for Africa, we have to contextualize the historical moment in which Unisa wants to carve out a distinctive role. We are celebrating 150 years at a time when the world is witnessing the conflict in the Ukraine, major economic and geopolitical rivalries, especially between the United States and China, repolarization of many parts of the world along the new Cold War lines, the weakening of the Second World War multilateral institutions, and emergence of new regional and transnational blocs and alliances. Today, we are celebrating 150 years of Unisa as the world is facing three converging crises, creating unprecedented instability across the world. Firstly is the fracturing of the neoliberal model of growth, and globalization is just not delivering what it promised. Secondly, a major climate and ecological crisis. And thirdly, widening levels of social inequality with devastating effects on the poor and the working people. Whilst the situation is like this globally, our continent is still held back from its full potential by Africa's subordinate place in the global political and economic system, which in itself, as I say, is in crisis. And also our continent is still enduring legacies of colonialism and neocolonialism and internal weaknesses and failures to take rapid advantage of strategic opportunities for renewal. As we refashion, strengthen Unisa, Unisa needs to locate itself in terms of what role and contribution should it play in the addressing of the current global and continental challenges and problems that we face. We expect this of all our universities as government, because our universities must not be just islands that are not located and seeking to tackle the problems that we face. If we don't do that with our universities, then in fact they render themselves irrelevant. So Unisa can't render itself irrelevant after 150 years. And we are very pleased. We are very pleased that it continues to play this role, including the hosting of the Thabo Mbeki Leadership School, which is a very important initiative. The AU Africa 2063 agenda lays out a number of strategic priorities around which future intellectual work, in which there is a crucial role for African higher education, science, and innovation. Equally important, tackling these challenges will, of course, require societal-wide mobilization of all our indigenous resources and capacities. It is my considered view that post-school education and training has a particularly distinctive role to play, as they are hardwired and soft-wired to provide Africa with homegrown, contextually relevant and practical solutions for its own problems. Much as Unisa is a distance education institution, but it educates a lot of young people. That is a very important task in a young continent like ours. Also to assist our youth who are aspiring to lead tomorrow, that they actually are given the necessary tools, analytical capacities, methodologies to be able to lead us. Inje ngayanga esikoleni bakithi siyaxolisa ngeke liphathe izwe lethu. Because as some say, you can't replace ideology or ideas with biology. We want our young people to lead, but abafunde. Abangafuni ukuzosiphatha ngeindlela esingayiboni. Unisa, continue to play your role to educate our youth so that they are able to run our country with the necessary knowledge that is needed today. In this regard, I see Unisa with its vast network of campuses and satellite facilities across 130 countries, the bulk of which is on the continent, as an immense source of innovation to drive the renewal of the African agenda. Also, we're calling upon Unisa to make its own contribution in the development of indigenous Afrocentric epistemologies, methods of research, teaching and learning that are key to sustainable development of the African continent. Please do not train students who are going to only respond to modern technologies, fourth industrial revolution. Produce students who are also going to make a contribution into those new technologies. Our students must not just be recipients of knowledge from other continents, but they must also be producers of knowledge in the African continent, not only for the African continent, but for the rest of the world as a whole. As South Africa, we are very proud, by the way, even with COVID-19, we discovered that there is a new variant, the Omicron variant. The world started by punishing us, but they realized that by discovering that variant, we saved millions of lives in the rest of the world. Let me just say this before I sit down. Unisa itself faces the challenge of renewing itself at its 150 years of its existence. I must address this because I want also to say to the media, please, for today and tomorrow, just cover Unisa for its 150 years. Then later, we can talk about the challenges that are facing Unisa. And I want to say, as someone assigned with the task of being minister in this respect, we are seeking to address the challenges facing Unisa, not because we want to run Unisa down, it's because the governance challenges that it is facing, the issue of its operating model that it is facing, we want to address those so that it continues to play the role that it is supposed to play in South Africa. Let us then not allow the actions that we are taking as a department to be a detraction, that all those are aimed at strengthening Unisa to continue what it has actually been. Now, to see the two things, 150 years and interventions as a contradiction, is a lack of understanding of what we are doing and what we are capable of doing as South Africa in addressing our own problems. Let me make the wish also that future generations of Unisa leaders celebrating its next 150 years in the year 2173 will be able to look back at the 21st century and find in the records of a future as significant evidence of Unisa having left an indelible mark in having made a pioneering contribution to final emancipation of the African continent from its colonial legacies and marking the onset of the much-promised African century. Honorable Chancellor, Chairperson of Unisa Council and Madam Vice Chancellor, I urge Unisa to take advantage of its added leverage of having you, former President Mbeki, as the Chancellor. And please, I urge this university to fully exploit the fact that former President Mbeki is a Chancellor here. A leader who has distinguished himself as a leading thinker and known for his groundbreaking efforts in the revitalization and renewal of the African continent. I want to say now, former President Mbeki, I'm ready myself to join you in this journey by ensuring that we actually establish an African research agenda to develop science that is able to address the needs of our continent. Vice-Chancellor tells me that she is strengthening the science component of Unisa. Indeed, any university needs to do so, and I am very glad that you are doing that. I do want to say also, as I step down, to urge all the constituencies of Unisa to remember, Unisa is not about tenders. Unisa is not about fiefdoms for people who want to do their games. Unisa central mission is teaching, learning, and research. And let's protect Unisa at this important occasion that it must continue to be about its core mission, including the mission of servicing our country and our continent. And I do have confidence that indeed Unisa is quite capable of doing that. You can't fail after 150 years. That's impossible. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Minister of Higher Education, Science and Innovation, for your thought-provoking and motivating remarks. Thank you very much. There's no way you can summarize those comments. They're just there, erudite and clear. I now have the honor to request the Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa, His Excellency Mr. Paul Mashatile, to come to the podium and to deliver his address. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Program Director. Ha ke she tlhompho go Chancellor Dr. Thabo Mbeki. Ke dumedishe Chairperson ya Council, Tate Mabua. Let me also recognize in our midst Dr. Blade Nzimande, Minister of Higher Education, Science and Technology, together with Deputy Minister Buti Manamela. Ki se tlhompho go Vice Chancellor wa rona wa University, mme wa rona o re mo ratang kaofela. It's good to be led by a woman. So, re a o dumedisha Professor Lenkabula. Ke dumedishe Minister Kubai le di Minister kaofela tse di leng gona in this gathering.
the royal families who are with us today. Now, there are many dignitaries who have to be recognized today, but I think those who spoke before me have done exactly that. In the past, I used to, when there are many dignitaries, I would say, all protocol observed. And then my advisors don't like that. So whenever I try to do that, but no, you can't say that. You can't say that. So I've stopped. I've stopped doing that. They want me to recognize people properly, all of them. So because of time, I'm just going to say, Ke a le dumedisha ka moka. Halala, Unisa, halala. Halala, Unisa, halala. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests. We consider it a great honor to be able to participate in the celebration of this extraordinary achievement of Unisa reaching the milestone of 150 years. On this day in 1873, the University of South Africa was established, marking the beginning of a journey that led all of us here today. It is no coincidence that 82 years later, on the same day, the Freedom Charter was adopted at the Congress of the People in Kliptown, Soweto. The Freedom Charter instructs us to ensure the free exchange of ideas, the encouragement of cultural expression, and free, compulsory, universal, and equal education for all children. Unisa adhered to this instruction, and over time it has transformed into an institution of higher education that is committed to quality and universal education accessible to all Africans. As we commemorate the 150 years of Unisa, the largest and oldest institution in sub-Saharan Africa, we should reflect on how Unisa has contributed in shaping Africa's intellectual future by asking difficult questions about Unisa's future contribution to a better Africa and a better world. Ladies and gentlemen, in our view, Unisa is an example of accessible education. By offering distance learning programs, you have touched many people who would not otherwise be able to visit your campuses across the continent. This includes establishing centers in other nations, such as, for example, Ethiopia, which hosts the African Union's headquarters. Currently, Unisa has one of the highest enrollment rates of any African country, offering free education to improve life chances of underprivileged children. Since the year 2000, there's been a 35% increase in the number of adults who have completed their tertiary education, while enrollment in higher education institutions has more than doubled. This has also made possible by the educational funding scheme, such as NEFSAS, which we have set up as government to help South African students to further their education at public TVET colleges and universities. As a government guided by the Freedom Charter, education is our highest priority. In this regard, the education sector received the largest percentage of government spending. As we speak, education receives 5% of GDP, which is 21% of non-interest allocation being set aside for basic and higher education, respectively. But I know that Dr. Blade Nzimande wants more. And he should get more. But Dr. Nzimande will agree that we should also give more to basic education as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are happy that Unisa has also played a significant role to broaden access to education since its founding in 1873. We are also pleased that this institution has been able to adjust to changes consistent with the current generation, also known as the digital natives. It is a cause for celebration that your institution has been a pioneer and a driving force behind the transformation of education in our country. We strongly recommend that you maintain your pioneering position in encouraging other organizations to embrace and rapidly adapt the use of technology as you did during the COVID-19 pandemic period. Ladies and gentlemen, your commitment to remaining flexible in the face of societal shifts is evinced in the breadth and depth of your institution's degrees, diplomas, and certificate programs. Today, we commend the university for having 6 academic colleges and over 350,000 students, make it one of the world's most diverse universities. One of UNISA's greatest assets is its dedication to making education accessible to students from diverse backgrounds across the African continent. One of the things I like to say about UNISA is that UNISA will find you wherever you are. And the reason I say that because UNISA found me in prison. But I did, Chancellor Mbeki, I did a very bad thing. When I came out of prison, I stopped studying with UNISA and went to study with the University of London. So the VC is not happy with me. She was nagging me there, says, you must come and finish your degree here. You see, President Mandela studied here and many others. So I'll see if President Ramaphosa will give me some additional time, reduce the schedule of work a bit, so I can continue my studies with UNISA. The VC is going to be very happy with that. Program Director, by leveraging technology and innovative teaching methods, the university has overcome geographical barriers and expanded access to higher education for individuals who might not have had it otherwise due to socio-economic circumstances. The inclusiveness has been instrumental in cultivating a diverse population of leaders, ensuring that African voices and perspectives are presented in influential and decision-making positions all over the world. In essence, UNISA has been instrumental in transforming education by advocating for change, innovation, and equity, and using technology to transform the way we learn. As we continue to shape and reclaim Africa's intellectual futures, as a government, we will continue to partner with you so that we can contribute immensely to an improved education system towards the National Development Plan 2030. And thus, the Sustainable Development Goals, more so of equitable and equal education in the fight against poverty and women's emancipation. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no doubt that this institution has always been committed to excellence in education, in research, and we continue to aspire for this as we move into the future and establish new objectives for the next 150 years. As we set new goals, we must work together to resolve existential challenges such as the following: continued lack of access to quality education, that's still a big challenge in our country. Inequality in education. There's also a big problem, Minister Nzimande, of high dropout rates. So we need to deal with that. Poor literacy and numeracy skills, and of course, lack of funding for higher education, which Dr. Blade Nzimande is fighting hard to overcome. And you have my support, Dr. Nzimande. Ladies and gentlemen, as we look ahead to the next 150 years, we will continue to invest in the resolution of the aforementioned problems, as well as in the improvement of the delivery of quality education in order to construct education cities, generate much-needed economic skills, and guarantee our nation's global competitiveness. To create a prosperous nation that can compete globally, we must first invest in the development of our human capital by providing opportunities for our youth to acquire marketable skills. In this regard, we expect universities and colleges to develop programs focusing on practical skills that can be immediately used in the economy. Moreover, in order for teachers to effectively educate the students of today who will work in the near future with systems that are operated and continually expanding as a result of the fourth industrial revolution, they must be taught how to use the most advanced teaching software. In this regard, we applaud the institution's College of Education, SEDU, which boasts the highest teacher registration and qualification with more than 100,000 registered undergraduate students. We are comforted by the fact that some of SEDU's educational initiatives to empower teachers includes a focus on their qualification improvement through aligned academic and professional programs and engagement with districts of the Department of Education to enable teachers to further their education. We also encourage teachers to be part of various engaged scholarship projects and register for short learning programs to advance their skills. As government, we are committed to improving the quality of education. We have further introduced a new curriculum that focuses on giving students practical and relevant skills that they need in this 21st century. As an esteemed institution of higher education, Unisa has continually prioritized African leadership and development in its mission and vision. We thank you, Unisa, for focusing on this. Throughout its 150 years of history, the university has been a key driver in developing the next generation of African leaders and stimulating socio-economic advancement on the continent. Recognizing Africa's unique challenges and abundant opportunities, Unisa has actively worked to equip individuals with information, with skills, and mindset necessary to lead and drive intellectualism. The university has played a critical role in establishing African leadership and development agendas through its unique curriculum, research project, and community participation. Ladies and gentlemen, the new curriculum emphasizes, amongst others, entrepreneurship and encourages critical thinking, innovative technologies, and creative problem-solving skills. These are all key skills required for South Africa to develop a highly skilled and dynamic workforce for its growing economy. While we acknowledge the strides that have been made towards transformation in education in South Africa, the task ahead is still considerable. We must continue to work towards closing the education gap and ensuring that every child has the same opportunity. The transformation of education is a vital part of our country's development. We must continue to work together to give every child the chance to fulfill their potential and become active and healthy citizens who will contribute to the growth of our nation. As we celebrate the 150th milestone, let us remember the thousands of students and staff who have contributed to making Unisa the great institution it is today. We honor you for that. Your commitment to diversity and inclusion has made education so accessible to people of all backgrounds, removing barriers, empowering individuals to pursue their goals. As I conclude, Honorable Program Directors, let me say together you have shaped the identity, values, and mission of this university. This could not have been done by one person or small group of persons, but a partnership in practice that we see today. We as government will continue to be part of the life of this university, give the necessary support through our minister and the Department of Higher Education and Science and Technology, so that Unisa can see more greatness as we move towards the next 150 years. Ladies and gentlemen, let us also acknowledge the challenges that lie ahead and commit ourselves to building a more inclusive, just, and equitable society. Let me conclude by extending our congratulations to Unisa on its 150th anniversary and best wishes for the future. Thank you very much.
His Excellency, Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa, Mr. P. Mashatile, thank you very much for your reassuring statements and comments. As an academic in this institution, I really feel assured by your expression of support and the prioritization of higher education based on the Freedom Charter. And I also get reassured to hear, and hopefully even Dr. Blade Nzimande would be quite happy to hear that, this sector requires additional support. So we're looking forward to your continued support to the higher education sector, His Excellency Vice President. Thank you very much. At this point, I have the honor to request His Excellency Dr. Thabo Mbeki, the Chancellor of Unisa, to come to the podium and to deliver his congratulatory address.
Thank you very much. Program directors, Honorable Deputy President of the Republic, Mr. Paul Mashatile, and the Honorable Minister for Higher Education and Science and Technology, Dr. Blade Nzimande, and your Deputy, the Honorable Putima Namela, Chairperson of Council, Mashugudu Mabua, and our Principal and Vice Chancellor, Professor Puleng Lengabula, the Unisa professors, lecturers, students, managers, workers, the Unisa family, as a whole, friends, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very, very glad indeed to speak after the Vice Chancellor, Chairperson of Council, Minister Nzimande, and indeed our Deputy President of the Republic, because they have done all of the necessary acknowledgements. But I must say, Deputy President, I'll just do one additional acknowledgement. I see General Libya in front of us, head of the Hawks, therefore leader of I'm very, very glad indeed to see General Libya with us and welcome him warmly, and then just give a bit of an alert. I was going to write to him. I won't do it now since I can talk to him directly. Because General, I was going to write to you to request a meeting because I need some education. One topic on that agenda will be the role of policing in terms of fighting crime. I'm sure you will be able to educate me on that point. I also want us to discuss an important question, in my view, of the ranks in the police service. I have an understanding that the police are not soldiers. And why they are called generals, I don't know. We have a National Commissioner of Police, and indeed is a national commissioner. But he's also called a general, which I thought the generals were the people in the National Defense Force. So that's one other topic we will discuss. the ranks. That has to do, as you know, General Libya, with the relationship between the police and the citizens. That matter of ranks is not a matter of words. It's a very, very important matter that has got to do with the practice of policing. But welcome, General Libya. It is indeed a great privilege that I have the opportunity to participate in this happy event of the celebration of the 150th anniversary of the University of South Africa. And I'm pleased to join those who have already spoken to welcome you, Honorable Deputy President, Minister, and all the other distinguished participants, both to the university and to the celebration. And thank you most sincerely for the dignity and weight you have brought to this historic and unique occasion. And I believe that this occasion is indeed unique because I can think of no event that occurred 150 years ago in our country in 1873, other than the birth of Unisa, which would be celebrated by all the people of South Africa together. Recently, I came across a diary entitled What We Did in South Africa in 1873 by a British citizen, Edmund Byron. And concerning what brought him to South Africa, Mr. Byron wrote that for some time past, I had been desirous of making a short excursion into the interior of South Africa, partly with a view of seeing something of the country, but principally for the sake of the excellent sport afforded by the numerous varieties of both large and small game, which are to be found there. So Mr. Byron wanted to come shooting animals. And so at last, at the beginning of 1873, he and his wife found the opportunity to visit our country. And here are two of the moments during their visit which Mr. Byron put in his diary. With regard to one of these, this is what he wrote. We went to Mowbray to dine, that's in the Eastern Cape, in the Western Cape, and spent the afternoon with the Bleeks or the Bleeks. Saw two bushmen there, great curiosities, more like baboons than men. Perhaps the connecting link in Darwin's chain between man and the ape. And he said Dr. Blake had got them through the government to assist him in compiling his dictionary of their most extraordinary language. Mr. Byron also recalled a moment when they traveled by ox wagon out of Pietermaritzburg, deeper into the province of Natal. And he says that after they had hired some Kaffirs to accompany them, a queer old fellow arrived at our camp this morning. And then he writes of this queer old fellow. He was supposed to be a swell, a near relation of a chief in his own district, and a queer piece of royalty he made, as ugly as sin, strongly marked with smallpox, got up in an extraordinary rig, and with all very comical in appearance. He was told off to fetch water, mind the fire, wash up, and generally assist camp. who, unable to master the click in his Kaffir name of Klangelan, turned it into slangy, as short and easy to pronounce. This fellow was a perpetual joke among us, but he was no fool. Liked all he could get and was not over fond of work, but a very good nigger on the whole. So that's Byron's diary. And I cited to remind ourselves that even as Unisa was born, most of us then were bushmen, Kafirs, and niggers. And indeed, we have got cause to celebrate Unisa's birthday because, to my knowledge, it never excluded from its classrooms any of our citizens, despite the setting into which it was born. On the very eve of this celebration, a report on Unisa by a properly appointed independent assessor entered the public domain, generating great worries about the future of this university. And I'm very glad to talk about this matter after following Dr. Nzimande. In this context, I hope that many of us have read the relatively short article on Unisa by one of our leaders that I greatly respect, Dr. Musibundi Mangena, former president of AZAPO and former Minister of Science and Technology. And among others, this is what Dr. Mangena wrote. He said, some of us were alarmed and saddened by stories circulating in various media outlets in recent weeks about alleged wrongdoings at the University of South Africa, Unisa. And he said, every patriotic South African should be worried by the apparent decline in the prestige of Unisa, but the collapse should induce earthquakes in our heads. Students whose circumstances, including inadequate financial resources, family responsibilities, or lack of space at contact universities, have been able to pursue their studies through Unisa. And this includes many students who were expelled en masse or walked out of universities in 1972 as a result of the student and political activist Nkhubutseti Rosa Fair at the University of the North, Tefloop. And those of us who found ourselves on Robben Island because of our political activism, and all of whom studied through Unisa. And he said, in addition to being the biggest university of its type on the African continent, it is also headed by an African woman, Professor Puleng Lengabola, for the first time in its long and distinguished existence. And he said, Unisa's size, history, prestige, symbolism, and place in the configuration of tertiary education in this country are such that all patriotic citizens of this country should ensure that Unisa does not only survive, but that it goes from strength to strength. And he said, considering the special history and status of Unisa, we should all make sure the institution is protected. Dr. Nzimande said very much the same thing, including this very important point that, of course, the university must make sure that it addresses whatever shortcomings that it experiences. And then, Dr. Nzimande, I heard you very well when you talked about the possible role of the Chancellor. I'm very, very glad that you offered your services, that you're willing to work with us as we continue to address whatever challenges the university faces. I'm very, very pleased that about what Unisa has done. I'm talking about matters to which that relate to me personally. For instance, we are, as I think everybody knows, we're working on establishing a presidential library that's already affiliated to the Unisa library. We have the Institute for Global Dialogue, which was set up many years ago. It has become part of this university. The university has agreed to the establishment, which now exists, of the Thabo Mbeki African School for Current and International Affairs. Is domiciled here at this university. You know that for many years we've been holding the Africa Day lecture on Africa Day here at this university. I'm saying all of this, Dr. Nzimande, to say that there are very, very close links even between myself and this university. And I think you are quite right to say we need to work together to make sure that the university overcomes whatever its problems and lives up to the expectations that it has created over its 150 years. And I believe that as we celebrate this birthday, we must in particular reflect on the deep meaning of our motto, to which our Vice Chancellor referred, Pro Gentibus Sapientia, which means learning in service to humanity. And of course, this relates very directly to our vision, which is towards the African university in the service of humanity. And so I urge that as we celebrate this 150th anniversary, we members of the university must commit ourselves to do everything possible to realize these two seminal objectives of being truly an African university, and secondly, being in practice an institution in the service of humanity. With regard to both these, the truth is that we are not quite there, as the chairperson of council said, but have the will and capacity to achieve these historic objectives. And when I spoke here during my inauguration as Chancellor in 2017, I cited a statement made by the 2015 First African Higher Education Summit meeting, which said that African higher education institutions shall commit themselves to the pursuit of excellence in teaching and learning, in research and scholarship, in public service, and provision of solutions to the development challenges and opportunities facing the African people across the continent. And this speaks exactly to what will inform Unisa's endeavors as it advances towards its 200th, its bicentenary anniversary. I'm saying 200, not 150. 50 years, not 150, because I'll still be around in 50 years' time. A happy 105th anniversary to Unisa and its family, including its alumni, was spread across the globe. And thank you very much indeed for coming. Thanks a lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, please another round of applause for our Chancellor. His Excellency Chancellor Mbeki, thank you very much for your remarks Thank you for your congratulatory note. And most of all, thank you for reminding us of the importance of history. I think the story of Edmund Byron gives us an indication of the importance of us knowing where we come from. You once said, Chancellor, if you don't understand history, you will not be able to deal with today's issues. Those are your words, and I think they still ring true today. You also said, as Africans, we need to share common recognition that all of us stand to lose if we fail to transform our continent, if we fail to transform, in particular, our institutions of higher learning. And you also say, when will the day come that our dignity will be fully restored, when the purpose of our lives will no longer be merely to survive until the sun rises again tomorrow? So, as part of Unisa, as part of us reclaiming Africa's intellectual history, for us this means recentering indigenous knowledge systems, as Robben Nzimande reminded us. It means epistemic justice, it means economic justice, it means judicial justice. I mention these in particular because they continue to be challenges for us all. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's just take a moment, pause, relax, and invite the 150th celebration choir to please render an item for us. Please enjoy.
Well, thank you so much to our Unisa birthday celebration choir. And Sophie, you just rocking it, girl. Great to have you with us. Now, coming back to that special plaque that we are going to be unveiling, I've already told our special guests to be prepared, and we're going to be seeing this special commemorative plaque, and it's going to be unveiled by His Excellency Mr. Paul Mashatile, our Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa, His Excellency Dr. Thabo Mbeki, our Chancellor and former President, Dr. Blade Nzimande, Minister of Higher Education, Science and Innovation, Mr. M.J. Maboa, Chairperson of Council, our Principal and Pro-Vice Chancellor, Professor Puleng Lenkabula. Ladies and gentlemen, would you not give them a round of applause? You've heard from them, they have shared their hearts, and now we invite these special guests, our leaders, to go ahead and go to the special plaque that will celebrate UNISA's 150-year milestone. So I'd ask you now to prepare yourselves as you head on. Okay. Now, don't you worry, we are going to have a view of the special commemorative plaque. We just want to ensure that our high-profile guests get there. Now, don't forget, it's a celebration. We have done a lot of work. There is still a lot more work to be done, but today, it's our birthday celebration. So remain joyful. There's cake coming up. Everybody's going to have a wonderful day. Lots of celebrations taking place around the campus. The rain is coming soon. It's gonna rain. And so, Unisa, we celebrate 150 years of commitment to higher education. To all the Unisans around the country, to all of our students and alumni around the world, please join with us in celebration. Friends, our commemorative plaque has been officially unveiled for us. You can see it right there on your screens. Have a look. And you're going to be among the first people to take your photographs with this special commemoration of 150 years. 150 years. Do you know that organizations that last the longest are those who understand that they are there to serve? Organizations with the service orientation are the ones that prevail and last the longest. And so, to also commemorate this very, very special milestone, we have a unique and very special part of our program. So I'm going to introduce Mr. M. Motobele, who is our Vice Principal at Unisa of Facilities Management. And so Mr. Motobele is going to come to the stage and share with us about this special part of the program. This is something created especially at Unisa, which will continue to exist, and we will all enjoy this. So, are we ready to unveil this surprise? Are you ready? So, over to you, sir, to unveil the special surprise.
Thanks. Before I start, I think I will borrow from His Excellency Deputy President Paul Mashatile. Hala hala Unisa, hala hala. Hala hala Unisa, hala hala. Let me start by thanking our program directors, Professor Mohale, Dr. Genevieve James, and Professor Sekhalo. His Excellency and former President, Dr. Thabo Mbeki, who's also our current Vice Chancellor, His Excellency Deputy President Paul Mashatile, our Minister of Higher Education, Science and Innovation, Dr. Blade Nzimande, the Deputy Minister of Higher Education, Science and Innovation, Mr. Butima Namela, our Minister of Human Settlements, Madam Kubai, our Chairperson of Council, Mashukudu Mabua, our Deputy Chair of Council, Dr. Den Musia, our Vice Chancellor and Principal, Professor Puleng Lenkabula, all members of Council present here, our key stakeholder being the student, organized labor, all protocols observed. Good morning. Awa. Good morning. Can we get a 150-year Tobela? Absheni. De Machironi. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a great honor and privilege to be the one to introduce Unisa's sesquicentennial rose. Did you get that? Sesquicentennial rose. We have Unisa's 150-year celebration has added to our day-to-day vocabulary So we must get used to this, ladies and gentlemen. My task here today is quite simple yet an important one. In preparation for the 150-year celebration, our university, through operations and facilities, came up with an idea of identifying a unique and beautiful rose that has never been named before, and most importantly, that does not belong to anyone. Agri Unisa is about uniqueness. So this is just one of those very important aspects where our specifications was that the rose must be the one that has never been named before. Accordingly, Unisa partnered with one of the leading rose growing specialists, Ludwig Roses, to assist in the rose identification as part of the rose identification process. What then happened was that there was a rigorous process followed, a rigorous consultative process followed, with various names suggested by Unisans, and after considerations, the process yielded the name, can we guess? Mabatu. Do we know what Mabatu means? The mother of many, the mother of the nation. It was said earlier on that Unisa gave birth to other universities. So the naming of this rose wouldn't have come at a better time when we are celebrating our 150 years. Can we please give Mabatu a round of applause? Mabatu Rose was specifically chosen to honor this occasion as it is a tribute to all those who have dedicated their lives to Unisa and its mission. The rose species is known for its vibrancy, fragrance, strength, and resilience, and the ability to thrive in various conditions, and so is Unisa. Like this beautiful flower, Unisa has endured many challenges over the years and also currently. And yet, Unisa continues to grow stronger and stronger. As Unisa faces these challenges, Unisa continues to gain strength day by day. A journey that has been characterized by hard work and dedication of staff, students, and the alumni. That's what this flower characterizes. Mabatu Rose will forever be connected to our proud history and brighter future of our university. We hope that this beautiful flower will inspire future generations to continue to strive for academic excellence, innovation, community engagement, as well as social justice. Mabatu will be officially registered as Unisa's sesquicentennial rose here in South Africa, as well as the United Kingdom. Can we please give that a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? This will also contribute to our endeavor to ensure that Unisa gets third stream income, which will benefit Unisa students whenever it is purchased across the world. I would like to thank all Unisans for their contributions and unwavering support towards the Mabatu initiative. We also would like to thank CAIS for always guiding the institution with regard to issues of environmental and also agriculture. Thank you very much. We would also like to thank Ludwig Roses for agreeing to partner with Unisa. Ladies and gentlemen, can we take this moment to please give Unisa 150-year Mabatu a round of applause. That was part one of the program, ladies and gentlemen. Part two of the program, I would request the roving mic. Ladies and gentlemen, for the unveiling of the Rose Mabatu, I would like to call upon His Excellency, our Chancellor, Dr. Thabo Mbeki, and also I would like to call upon Dr. Blade Nzimande, the Minister of Higher Education, Science and Innovation. I would also request the Chair of Council, Mr. Mabua, and our Principal and Vice Chancellor, Professor Puleng Lenkabula.
We stand where?
On the side. That side. Yeah? Okay.
Big rose.
Yeah, it's a big rose. Yeah, you must. I'll just pull it. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. There is Mabatu, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I think there's, we must take pictures now, VC. Yeah, here. And we'll allow our colleagues to hand over. These are the roses. Just it's your token. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, there it is, Mabatu. Another round of applause. Thank you very much. You may be seated.
We'll just leave them there.
Yeah, you can just send them back. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think that is something worth celebrating. Unisans, we have our very own rose. And what a beautiful rose it is. Have a look at that. Just absolutely gorgeous. And so our celebration is hotting up. I'm sure everybody's had their eyes on the cake in front of them. Oh yes, that is a cake worthy of 150 years. But guess what? Everybody's going to have a piece. You get a piece. You get a piece. Everybody's going to get a piece. So there are cupcakes for everyone to celebrate this special day. Now, as we had a very special process with our rose, and Unisans around the country were asked to submit special names, we also had a competition for our 150 birthday cake. And so, the winner of the competition, in terms of the design of the cake, is Mrs. Palani Yandi. Mrs. Palani Yandi, she has been the winner of the special design of the cake. Mrs. Palani Yandi, Nitya Daseni, congratulations to you. You have been the winner of the special cake frosting design. Now, ladies and gentlemen, can I have your attention? I know that we can't wait to dance and to celebrate, but we're going to have to call up our special leaders and our guests once more. Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa, our Chancellor, our Minister of Higher Education, Science and Innovation, our Chairperson of Council, and our Principal and Vice Chancellor. Can I request that you go towards the table where the cake is? You're going to be having a wonderful opportunity. We're going to witness the cutting of our cake, and we're going to have Simpiwe Dana, who is going to lead us in the happy birthday song. Simpiwe, you looking great. Take it away, girl.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Unisa. Happy birthday to you. Mina mnandi kuwe, mina mnandi kuwe, mina mnandi kuwe Unisa, mina mnandi kuwe. Hip hip. Hip hip.
So, our cake is going to be cut, and you can see our Vice Chancellor has cut the first part of the cake. And our leaders are going to give it a try for us all. Okay. Happy birthday, Unisa. Now, we have seen our leaders enjoy the cake, and by the looks of it, it looks quite delicious. So we'll be getting ours very soon. But to honor this special celebration, we would like to screen some special congratulatory messages that are coming from our knowledge communities and our regional directors in Gauteng, KwaZulu-Natal, our northeastern region, the Midlands region, the Eastern and the Western Cape regions, as well as in Ethiopia. Let's roll those special messages.
I'm from Namibia. I'm a proud Unisa graduate. I have completed 5 qualifications with Unisa. Currently, I'm a proud Unisa alumni, and I want to wish Unisa a very, very happy, blessed 150 year celebration. Unisa have really impacted in my life, and it has changed my life, and it has made me what I am today. It's because of the knowledge and the skills that I have gained from the professors that were there supporting me, they're taking care of my studies and so on. And I'm very thankful for what Unisa have done. And I wish that everybody will find Unisa and also will find the blessings and the qualifications that Unisa is able to offer, so that everybody also could get a great future for their qualifications that they are getting. Thank you very much, and happy anniversary. 150 years is a great achievement. Thank you, Unisa.
Zambian chapter convener, on the occasion of Unisa's 150th birthday, I wish to say congratulations to the entire leadership. Your leadership over part of the 150-year existence of Unisa has ensured that all of us continue to acquire quality education. We're grateful, and we continue to look forward to more than 150 years of Unisa's existence. So here's to reclaiming not just Africa, but Zambia's intellectual future. Happy birthday, Unisa.
Happy birthday, Unisa. Dr. Dokanyamusi Stephen, Kenya Unisa Alumni Chapter Convener. I'm elated to be a Unisan, and we are proud of the 150 years milestone that Unisa has made. Happy birthday.
From Unisa Women's Forum, I just want to say we are also celebrating the 150 years of Unisa's birthday. It is an honor indeed to represent all women of Unisa on the special birthday and milestones that the university has reached. We are very proud that as UWF, we were able to see to it that there is an advancement of women at the University of South Africa, including the academics, the administrative support staff, and also our cleaning and security staff. Currently, as we celebrate the 150 years, most of our cleaning staff, administrative staff, and academic support staff are receiving numerous lessons and milestones, especially in the 4IR lessons of knowing how to use the recent technologies so that we are in par with the student body and what is happening around the University of South Africa. We continue to forge ahead. Even in the regional offices, we are continuing to ensure that the surrounding communities are receiving those important lessons in various skills offered by Chance to Advance and our regional offices. So Unisa Women's Forum is very happy to be part of the 150 celebration. I thank you.
Greetings everyone, my name is Landin Lobu, the NSRC President of Unisa. Unisa remains the biggest institutional brand in the country, with all stakeholders playing a pivotal role in ensuring that the university continues to flourish under any circumstances. The university as an international institution comes with a great responsibility and requires a certain level of commitment from any one of us. It is my pleasure to congratulate the entire University of South Africa as we celebrate our 105th anniversary since its founding in 1876. The University of South Africa has become highly recognized for its audit approaches in the institution. 2023 has been a challenging year, but occasions like this ones are a wonderful reminder that great things are happening, although we are not able to celebrate together in person. It is my hope that everyone affiliated with the University of South Africa takes time to reflect and take pride in all of the incredible accomplishments of the past 15 decades. Happy birthday, Unisa. Happy birthday.
Good morning, Unisans. My name is Lucas Mamabolo. I'm the chairperson of the Black Forum at Unisa. We want to wish the institution well on this very, very, very important occasion of celebrating its 150 years birthday. It's a reminder to Unisans to continue providing quality services to our students. We also want to appreciate and thank academics who suspend their luxury time and continue to produce groundbreaking research that puts Unisa at a very, very high competitive level, countrywide and globally. We thank you so much. You deserve everything.
Good day. I am Professor Mashao. I'm speaking on behalf of the Senate of the University of South Africa. As and when we pause to celebrate the 150 years of existence, we want to acknowledge that we have today become a towering monument, one that seeks to be celebrated by all. I want, therefore, to join the many voices in saying, Ayihule, Unisa, Ayihule. I want us to embrace the notion, let Unisa grow to become like a baobab tree. A baobab tree is a tree that in Africa has grown to be a symbol of life, but also of wisdom. Hence the African proverb that says, wisdom is like a baobab tree. No one individual can embrace it. So as we celebrate Unisa, and in particular for the academic project, we need everyone to rally behind this institution and provide the necessary support. For Unisa and its academic project has become a source of knowledge, inspiration, innovation, a shade to those who are experiencing scorching heat of Africa, a source of food security and refreshing waters. It has healing powers to the ailing nation and all the solutions that we are experiencing together. Let Unisa grow to provide solutions to the many challenges that we are experiencing. And as and when we grow, let's value the workers who make us shine. And let's value the academic freedom that we enjoy in our midst. And we should do our best to protect it. I hold Unisa. I hold.
Indeed, hi hole, Unisa, hi hole. We would like to thank everyone who has sent forth congratulatory messages, and also just to inform everyone in the room that we are not alone, but all our regional centers, our other communities are also joining us live on YouTube. So the celebration is quite bigger than just confined to this room. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my absolute honor to introduce Simphiwe Dana. Simphiwe's skill and ability to master the creation and guarded evolution of her music is what separates her as a great artist from others. She has received numerous awards locally and internationally, and her music has topped global charts. But for me, Simphiwe promotes the philosophies of Biko, decolonial thinking, and a strong sense of Black pride, a strong sense of loyalty to African culture. Stability and pride is at the center of Dana's work. This tallies well with Unisa's vision of African-centered pedagogies. Strengthening these is significant for continuing practices of liberating Africa and her people. Dana's music, her adornment, you saw how gorgeous she looks, and artistic collaborations reflect her deep commitment to intra-African relationships and networks. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, please join me by putting your hands together to welcome Ms. Simphiwe Dana.
Thank you. This song was written by Mama Miriam Makeba while she lived in Guinea. I've still been researching what language it is, so if anyone can help me, I would deeply appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you. And I'm trying to make sure that I cover everyone and I don't have you behind me. Thank you, sir. Lakuchoni langa zakubuyi kombo ndakucinga ngawe lakuchoni langa lakuchoni langa Jamba ndikufuna ezindlini nasezitrateni ezibhedlele Lakuchoni lama zakubwinkombo lakucinga ngawe Nizandi Umoya Dina Wamaka Oh Nizandi Umoya Dina Wamaka Oh Nizandi Umoya Nizandi Umoya Butana on piano, Ngobeni. Thank you. Masoja on bass. Okay, we will be doing our last song, Inkwenkwezi. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you to the Chancellor and the Vice Chancellor. Thank you to the Minister. Thank you to all the academics and important people for our education system. Thank you for your hard work in acquiring all of Izidanga and Izngqimpileyo. That's what it's called in my language. Thank you. Uyingwenkwenkwezi kanye bunyameni ubumnyama bungaka ngathi uwedwa wena nkwenkwezi
Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Simpiwe Dana. She will take you on a spiritual journey. I call her the African violet. Go and Google what violet means, and I think you will understand. She is indeed the African violet. Whew. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is again my honor to introduce Faku. Her releases with Nigerian artist Mr. Easy, South African piano god Kabza the Small, Amos with the #1 hit Fatela, and UK DJ Jules. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I would like us to welcome Faku.
guys. Passa-me usohlukanisa. Abaphansi bavumile ukuba sifanelene thina sobabini, masikunye tiyajabula jabula. Masibepi kuchi, masibepi mundwami, masibepi kuchi, masibepi mundwami, masibepi, masibepi mundwami, masibepi sibekunye asa. Para 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 para. Ewe uhlala ngam undivisa kabuhlungu, le ndlela umphethe ngayo uvusa balele. I'm sorry my baby, ngicela uxolo, thikuxolele my baby, you did it mean it. Isangithanda mna, I'm sorry my baby, ngicela uxolo, I'm so sorry now. Thikuxolele my baby, you didn't mean it. Isangithanda mna. baby, you didn't mean it. Disantana na, ah yeah. Ah yeah. Povo sabalele, asab. Thank you guys, have a beautiful day.
Gentlemen, that was the amazing, the talented, the sensational Ami Faku. One more time. We have now really started the celebration, and this is going to continue throughout the day. But, Vice Chancellor, we know that tomorrow to overalls and back in the trenches. So today, let's make hay while the sun shines. It's our birthday. Viva Unisa, viva! Long live higher education, long live! And now, it is my joy to thank you, to say how sincerely we appreciate you all. Thank you to our Vice Chancellor for her astute leadership and her compelling vision, which will take us into the beginning of the next 150 years. Thank you to our Chancellor for his steadfast guidance and for standing with us through all seasons. Thank you to all the Unisa staff and students who make this a family that cares for the world and seeks to deploy our intellectual resources in responding to the great challenges of our time. Ladies and gentlemen, at Unisa we have a host of capitals keeping us going. But above all the capitals is our capital in hope and in faith. We have committed people who serve in our structures, who dare to defy the challenges of the time, who say to you, we stand as a nation committed to our inclusive development. Committed to the goal that Africa is rising and revitalizing, and we shall witness the renaissance of this continent. As the population on the continent is set to double in just a few years' time, Unisa is perfectly poised to reflect, to revision, to apply its mind for how we will continue to make quality and accessible education available to all those who will enter in. And we want to commit to you that we have a presence in our communities across the country, around the continent, and around the world. And we will make sure that this presence is a transformative presence, one that contributes to the betterment of our world. And so, as we are about to enjoy the rest of the day's festivities, I mean, you should see the campus. There are braais going on, there's live music, there's so much for us to enjoy today, and we want to thank our principal and the team at DIA for putting all of this together. Now, to officially thank those who need to be appreciated, I want to call upon Mrs. Nakene Mginki, and she is our Vice Principal of Information and Communication Technology, and she will take us through the vote of thanks.
Halala Unisa, halala. His Excellency Mr. Paul Mashatile, Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa, the Chancellor, His Excellency Dr. Mbeki, the Minister of Higher Education, Science and Innovation, Dr. Nzimande, Deputy Minister of Higher Education, Science and Innovation, Mr. Buti Manamela, Minister of Human Settlements, Ms. Kupai, Mr. Mabua, Chairperson of the Unisa Council, Mr. Dan Musia, Deputy Chairperson of the Council, Professor Linkabula, Vice Chancellor and Principal, MEC Njali, Senior Prince and Princess Mamburu, General Lebea, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Unisa Council members, Ms. Sophie Mabaso, for her sign language and interpretation during the event. Simpiwe Dana and Ami Faku for their riveting musical performance. The 150 Celebration Choir for their performance. Unisa Management Executive Committee, Unisa Extended Management, Unisa Management, Unisa colleagues, Unisa students, members of organized labor and other structures in Unisa, the 150th Steering Committee for their guidance, the organizers of this historic event for their hard work and dedication, those who have joined us online, thank you. And thank you to our program directors, Professors Mukhale, Sekhalo, and Dr. James. What an opportunity this morning. I am humbled to deliver this vote of thanks on behalf of the university. It is an auspicious occasion. We are honored that you have joined in our celebration of the first university in South Africa, the first university to offer distance learning to the world, one of the top 10 universities in South Africa, the University of Leaders. Hashtag Circle of Excellence. Thank you for celebrating with us as we reclaim Africa's intellectual futures. Indeed, Professor Lengabula, as you have cited, when the clouds clear, we shall know the color of the sky. Dr. James, we remain strong, with buoyant spirit and committed to continue sharing knowledge, which is an unlimited resource for the growth and success of our communities. Thank you, Mr. Maboa. We celebrate the university's ability to produce 20% of graduates in this country. We remain committed to continue with this and other achievements that you pointed out to us this morning. Minister Nzimande, you highlighted that this university birthed all the universities in the country. 33% of students in higher education are Unisa students. Thank you for challenging us to continue to carve our space in the global discourse around current geopolitical contestations. Minister Nzimande, thank you for reminding us that Unisa is a source of innovation for indigenous knowledge systems. We will continue to produce knowledge creators in our catalytic niche areas and beyond. Just imagine the opening of the capsule in 2173 will be awesome. It will be filled with even more innovations and more achievements from Unisa. Deputy President Mashadile, we want to thank you for your congratulatory message and emphasis of commitment to continue partnering with Unisa. Yes, indeed, we are a shining example of quality universal education accessible to all South Africans, all Africans of diverse backgrounds. Thank you for reflecting and acknowledging that Unisa has made a contribution to the country's 35% increase in adults with higher education and in doubling of enrollments since the year 2000. Unisa is a pioneer in education transformation. It empowers the teachers of this country and is succeeding in leveraging tech to overcome barriers. Mr. Deputy President, you have aptly put it. Unisa will find you wherever you are. And so we look forward to you studying further with us again. Chancellor Mbeki, we want to thank you for highlighting the significance of this occasion that started in 1873 and is being celebrated today, 150 years later, by all South Africans. To know where we are going, we must understand where we come from. We celebrate that Unisa has always opened its doors to all South Africans. As you have cited, Chancellor Mbeki, the collapse of Unisa should induce earthquakes in our heads. Unisa must survive. It must grow from strength to strength, and all of us have a responsibility to ensure that Unisa is protected. We celebrate and are honored for the close links that Unisa has with you. Thank you, Chancellor, for reminding us that in celebrating today, we reflect on the deep meaning of our motto. We commit ourselves to a truly African university, and we truly live in service to humanity. Happy sesquicentennial, Unisa. Happy 150th birthday, Unisa. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Nakeni Mgingwe. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the end of our program, but the party does not stop here. I would also just once again like to take this opportunity to thank Ms. Thuli Zikalala for assisting us for today. I would like to acknowledge you, ma'am. Hand of applause. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to request that you please stand for the national anthem. You are now requested to stand, remain standing while the academic procession leaves the hall. And ladies and gentlemen, please, our dignitaries, as you leave the hall, I would like you to move